Now, let's move on to lean. What is lean? Lean is actually based on a principle that anywhere the work is done, waste will be generated. Anywhere. Whatever work you take in, whether you are doing automobile manufacturing, when you do the process, machining process and all, some waste will be definitely generated. Right. Similarly, if you take an example of food items, if you're making a pizza, of course, there will be some waste which you need to throw it out. You take any example, whether it's cosmetic or anything, construction, anywhere, some waste will be generated if the work is being done there. So lean is based on that concept. So what it says is, anywhere you do the job or work, waste will be generated. Now, what do you mean by waste? What do you mean by waste? Yeah, that's true. See, anything other than the minimum amount of time, money, and resources required to add value to your product or service is called waste. Okay, once again. Anything other than the minimum amount of time, money, and resources required to add value to your product or services is called waste. Now, there is a Japanese word for that, because this lean concept came from Japan. Most of the terminology is in Japanese words. So, what is the Japanese word for waste? That is Muda. M-U-D-A. Muda. Muda means waste. So there are different kind of types of waste, right? So let's look into one by one. You have any idea about different type of waste? Do you have any idea about different type of waste? Yeah. One is like transportation. Transportation. What is transportation? Transportation is unnecessary movement of material, like paper. Even if it's a transaction like banking or insurance service, unnecessary paper document is taken from one place to another. If it's a manufacturing unit, the material is taken from first process and then to store and then again come back to second process. So unnecessary movement is that. Those are transportation, which we can avoid. That is one of the ways. And very common one is inventory. What is inventory? Inventory is you keep the material in stock even though it is not going to be used in near future. For example, people used to say that okay, just buy 10 more just in case we need it, we can use that. That is why people may order little more than they actually needed. Those are all inventory based. Unnecessarily you are buying it, or unnecessarily you're keeping that in stock. So what is the other thing which will happen when you keep it in stock or inventory? You have to take care of that material. Now you have to spend money on taking care of that. For example, anything which is perishable item, you need to, or the item which have the shelf life, you need to put enough resource to take care of those inventory to be as good as the new one. Next one, Motion. What do you mean by motion? Motion means very easy example for you to understand is like if somebody is doing a job and he want a tool, maybe screwdriver, spanner, or anything, cutting blade, anything. He want a tool. If it's in his reachable area, places, he can easily use it. But what happens most of the time is this tool might be taken by somebody, and he may be searching for, okay, where is it? Where is the tool? Because he is not having that at the time he needs it. So that is unnecessary movement, or unnecessary movement of searching for a document. You don't have a system to keep the document. You are searching for it when you need it. Unnecessary. That's waste. Next one is waiting. What do you mean waiting? Very commonly happen in the corporate world is somebody who is disciplined reach the meeting hall or conference hall on time to find meeting is yet to start. People are still coming. Some people are coming. Maybe the organizer himself is not available at this time. He will be coming in 5 minutes or 10 minutes, little late. So he's waiting for that meeting to start. So unnecessarily spending his time waiting for that. Or maybe waiting in a queue to get processed. Process 1 is finished, process 2 will be done after a month, and this product is simply waiting for a month, unnecessary. Next one, over production. What do you mean over production? Producing the number of parts which is not going to be sold recently. So what will happen is this will add up to your inventory as well. Overproduction, unnecessarily you're producing it and this will not be sold in near future, or it will not be used by next process. It will not be supplied, distributed anywhere. It will be still there after production. Unnecessary. So produce only those parts which will be taken for use. In this case, you can use a technology called JIT or just in time. So when you need it, only that time you produce it. Unless you don't keep the production item in inventory. Next one, over processing. What do you mean over processing? Over processing. Very good example to understand over processing is something which you do to your product or service which nobody cares. For example, let us say this pen. The cap of this pen, there are so many, what do you call, flaps kind of thing. Some people may believe why this is done. You can make it very smooth one. But when you make this like this, what is the benefit of it? You can easily twist and open it. It's a good grip for your hand. That is why. Similarly, you can look into any of the area where you feel that, okay, this process is unnecessary. Nobody cares about it. If there is something like that, take it out. Or maybe unnecessarily there's a sign off. Signing is required in a document, which he does 100% time. There's no way he can avoid or reject that. He has to sign. Then why that process is there? We can move without that. And he's not going to check anything. If that is the case, then keep moving. So those are some of the examples for over processing. Unnecessarily you do a process which is not really adding value to your product or service. The final one is defects. Obviously, you all know what is defects. Defects is any parts which won't be able to use as you finish product or service. You may have to throw it off. So that is defect. So anything, any of these 7 ways or Muda, lean focus on reducing those 7 Mudas. Lean focus on reducing, finding the multiple ways to reduce those, or give you an indication that when something is happening, you get to know, oh, this is happening, so let us work on it to reduce those things. That is what lean focus on, and these are different 7 types of Muda or waste, which we will be looking into one by one. Or when you want to do a lean project, focus on these areas. And these are very visual. It's actually going to optimize your resource. Easy to understand. Right? Okay, let's move on to the next one.